So what's new with all you guys? Two quick announcements. Some of the rumors you've heard about me are accurate. I am in fact resigning my position as of the middle of this month. And the other one thing I wanted to make clear is, no, I do not know if Mark Lyle is going to be the Chiefs starter or not. So they haven't made the announcement. Please don't ask me. We're here tonight to celebrate the 2011 season. Season that saw a lot of rain, unfortunately, but also a lot of wonderful performances by all of you.
Where's Dennis from The Office? Come on up, Dennis. There he comes. This is a little off the script, but we'll see what happens.
First of all, you have to bear with me because I know you don't know that, but I am an emotional person. What I want to do is say goodbye to Jonathan. Found out, a couple days ago he's going to retire. So I got the tracks together and I got the cert team together and made up an award for him. And I don't know what else to do but just give it to him. But Jonathan.
You guys are way too kind. I really appreciate that. I don't really know what I should say, but this night is more about you all, and I do appreciate you recognizing my efforts. But I don't know what to say, so we'll just move on with the show. But you guys, I love you, and thank you so much. That was awesome.
I wonder if any other division director would get a standing ovation like that, That was really nice, Jonathan. Well, time to give out some of our Lucas Awards. First up will be the Sportsman Motorcycle Series presented by Harley Davidson. Third place went to Jeff Havens. Second place went to Jonathan Jenkins. This spot is normally reserved for Jeff Havens, but this year we have a first-time Sportsman Motorcycle Champion. His season started out with a win at Boise, a win in Mission, and to secure his championship, a win in Seattle. He went to 5 races and really made it count. He rides a 97 Kawasaki. He's from Surrey, British Columbia. Your 2011 Sportsman Motorcycle Champion is Al Amon. Now, would I say Cowie? Would that be appropriate? Are you a Cowie guy? That's right, right?
Yeah, many years. Well, it just goes to show you after 23 years, well actually I'm in my 23rd year racing right now. And this is the one thing I hadn't won yet in all these years. There's been National Open, there's been ET Finals, there's been the Summit thing, got to go to Pomona. And this is kind of the icing on the cake. So it's the first time also a Canadian has won this in 12 years. So I'm quite proud of that. And John's sitting over there, he's also Canadian, second place guy. So, we're kind of proud of doing that with all the competitors up there. And like everyone else is saying too, I have to thank certain people. Number one being my wife for giving me help, basically, and get out to the shop, fix the bike, make sure you're safe. Everyone knows they're not the safest things to ride, so we have a pretty meticulous program. And OK Tire is one of my product sponsors, and Castro Canada as well. And I thank them for helping ease the load. I don't have a major sponsor. I win races. So anyway, thanks a lot. This means a lot to me to be standing here and getting this championship. Thanks a lot.
I like that. I don't have a major sponsor, but you can help me out. Next up, the top dragster class. Third place, Mike Henderson, very talented racer. Second place, Garth Giroux. Our next 2011 champion is also claiming his first career division title. He is from Eugene, Oregon, and races in top dragster. His season, like our top sportsman champion, started out slowly in Boise, but just like Robert Matthews, he would score the race win at Mission over a very tough Stephen Condolay. I know Stephen, he's a good racer. He would make up for an early exit at Spokane with another race win at Woodburn. He would then go rounds in Medford, losing in the final round. To secure his first championship, he would go to Vegas. Please welcome first-time top dragster champion from Eugene, Oregon, Paul Nero.
First, I'd like to thank Lucas Oil and NHRA for putting on a good series, a great sponsor. I'd like to thank Comcast. They help me out every year and it's been a great asset to the program. Dave Stickland and Adams Car Care Products, Hoosier Tire, John Cowling P, Jeremy McGee, K&S Race Fuels, Woodburn Drag Strip. They've been a great place to test, and it's nice to have a weekly track you can go to and go fast and be safe. And last but not least, obviously my family, my folks, and wife and kids. Thank you very much.
Our next class, top sportsman. Third place, Darren O'Connor. Second place, Mike Williams. Our next championship is a repeat offender. He races in the very competitive top sportsman category. His season started slowly in Boise with an early exit, but he picked things up at Mission, where they race win. He stumbled a bit at Spokane, but was unstoppable at the next two races on tour at Woodburn and Seattle, with wins at both events. To have 3 wins in 5 races, that's really championship material. The 2011 top sportsman champion races a 67 Nova, and is from Gig Harbor, Washington. He's a 2-time champion, Robert Matthews.
Thank you, everybody. I have a few people I think it's important just to take a moment to thank. And first off, Lucas Oil, appreciate that. And everybody that works so hard in Division 6, appreciate you guys. And the Johnson boys, I'd really like to give a special thank you to the Johnson boys. They seem to keep repairing everything that I'm able to tear up. And it was wasn't short of a miracle that Bob was able to get the engine back together after the mishap in Canada. And let's see, my family, all my sisters come up. I'm very proud to have my sisters here tonight, and my son Ken and granddaughter Taylor. Really means a lot to me, and I'm so grateful for you people. Thank you for your support. And my good buddy Daryl, who, when I was down and out in the later rounds, was always there to help me. And not only me, but other racers as well. I think that's what makes you people great as a group, is that you're willing to help and good people, and I'm proud to be associated with you all. And the Wilcox family, thank you. Down in Seattle, when I couldn't even see so late at night, you were there to give me a hand, and I think it from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Nice job by Robert right there. Next up, we go to Super Street. That's the Dot 90s, by the way. The first of the Dot 90s. Third place, Tom Manfred. Second place, Josh Dalrymple, who also won the Rod Warner Memorial Rookie of the Year Award.
I just want to thank my brother Michael and my mom and dad and then Bob O'Lee, Ross, and the Cannon family for everything they did, and everyone else that raised the seed for this year. Sorry. And NHA for everything they've done and all the tracks. And thank you.
And now on to the champion. Our next champion is also another first-time champion. He is our first title winner in the .90 categories, of course, Super Gas and Super Comp coming up next. He must like Las Vegas because he went to 2 points races there, and I can't really blame him. Maybe he's friends with Chris Blair, or maybe he likes Mike Rice, so nothing wrong with that. He needed only 1 race win to win the championship, and that came at Boise. He would go rounds in Seattle, but really helped the cause was his runner-up at Medford to Josh Dalrymple. He would hold on to the championship in Vegas, even though he had an early exit. Your 2011 Super Street champion from Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada, races a cool 86 Camaro, Travis Ringuth.
Well, it's Grand Prairie. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank everybody for being here, sport and racing, everything. I don't even know where to begin. 2011 was a hell of a year for me and my family, from my first Wally in Albuquerque to clinching with my early exit in Vegas. It's truly been a year I'll never forget. My biggest thank you tonight, though, has to go to those 2 people sitting over there, my mom and my dad. I never could have done any of this without them. You know, they made so many sacrifices this year. They left the night fire 2 days early. I mean, my mom, always there, always checking the tires, whether they're at 9 or 10 or whatever. Just, you know, with much love, I give my most sincere appreciation to you guys. And yeah, I would also like to thank everybody in the class who competed this year, especially Josh in our rookie battle. Tom and Val Manfred for the great competition, being 2 of the most genuine people I've ever met. Another big thank you to the Johnson boys, as was said before, especially Bob for his horsepower and his wisdom. Frank Nelson Sr. for all the help in Seattle and letting us keep our rig there. And I ask that everyone keeps him in your prayers. Ed, Casey, the whole Blazer family, the Drews, the whole Cannon family for everything you guys have done, especially Papa Chris for supporting me and the Cardinals on our championship runs. And yeah, I want to thank Mike Shannon for keeping my head straight and teaching me a lot about what it takes to be successful. And in closing, I just want to thank everybody at Lucas, K&N, all the support, everything. Thank you, everybody.
By the way, it's Grand Prairie, Alberta. I said it right that time. And I love Canada, even though when I go to the border, they don't want me to come in for some reason. Happens every time. Next up, Super Gas. 3rd place goes to Mike Dalrymple. 2nd place to, you might know this name, Mike Ferger. Let's talk about our champion. Well, this year our champion is not the Ferg, which is pretty rare in this division, but you know, we love him anyway. He did finish 2nd. He was surrounded by racers named Dalrymple, ironically. And once again, we crown a first-time champion. Starting to see a theme here. This racer took his Corvette Roadster, the car of choice in Super Gas, to a win at Mission. After slow starts in Vegas and Boise, The win in Mission was especially sweet with son Josh taking home the Wally in Super Street. So that double's pretty nice. A family double, gotta love that. Our champ would go rounds at Woodburn and Medford to hold off the Fur to win his first ever division championship. Please welcome your 2011 Super Gas champion from Sunnyside, Washington, John Dalrymple.
I don't think so. First of all, I gotta thank my wife, Joyce. Everybody's told me about 100 times already to do that. I want to thank the NHRA guys for keeping us safe, all of them. And happy birthday to Jay. Glad to see you're with a woman. I got a special thank you to Chris Cannon and his whole family. Loaning us parts, messing with my car, getting a ride. Got my teammates, Bob, Ross, Michael, Josh. Thanks Steve and Patty for helping us, working on our transmissions every year. Lucas Oil for putting it on. I'm sure I forgot somebody, but that's it. Thanks.
Hey Jay, when he comes to the track, you probably won't let him in, right? That lane's gonna suck. That was pretty good. Next up, we go to Supercom. Third place finish was Bob Woodruff. Second place was Jeff Hughes. Let's talk about our champion. And really, when you look at some of the previous champs in Division 6, you guys have got some great racers, very talented drivers in this category. This racer started the season with a huge win in Boise, earning 105 points, and that's a lot in a division race. He then went rounds at Spokane, scored a runner-up at Woodburn, and added big time to his total at Sonoma, losing in the 5th round. He finished his total with a good race at Medford. Your 2011 Supercom champion comes from Kennewick, Washington. Please welcome Brian Presler.
I think that was my dad. When I switched from top dragster and went to Supercom in 2009, I set goals for myself. That was to first win a Supercomp Wally and second to win a championship someday. And kind of a lifetime accomplishment was to someday have a single digit on my car. The stars aligned. I accomplished all 3 things this year, and I want to thank my crew chief, my newlywed wife as of October 15th this last year, for always taking care of me, the car, and making sure that we're extra polished every time we go down to the staging lanes. And my dad, because without him I wouldn't even have this possibility to be up here and be racing with all you great people. Thank you.
I like the line about the single digit on the side of his race car. Now, if you've raced a long time, you know exactly what he's talking about, to go from number 1 to number 10 in your class. So that does mean a lot, so that was well said. Next up here to present the Sportsman Crew Chief of the Year Award. Goes to John Rydell, I believe, to come up, right?
I really don't have anything to talk about tonight. I just came up here to get away from the Lindsay table. Brianna's been chewing my ear off all night.
Brianna. So this award this year is to honor Barney Davis. Sadly, we lost Barney about 3 months ago. I've known Barney for probably 10 or 12 years, and we talk at the races all the time. And after a few years, we were talking. I asked him what he did for a living, what he was retired from, and he was a carpenter foreman. And it turns out that he works for the same company that I do for the last 25 years. He worked in the Portland office. I work out in the Seattle office. But whenever I'd talk to superintendents out of Portland, I'd tell them that I raced with Barney, and they all said the same thing. Barney was one of the best foremen they had. Very proud of projects that he built, but he was mostly proud of the carpenters that worked for him. And he made sure that they got the recognition for the work that they did. Barney was a guy that you always look forward to see him at the races. You always sorted him out. You wanted to see him. He always had a smile on his face. He had an absolute passion for racing and the people that were around him at racing. So at this time, if I could get Terry Wilcox, if you could bring Bev Davis up. So the last couple of years, Terry drove Mustang Sally and Supergas. And Barney was the kind of guy, he wouldn't have wanted to make a big deal out of anything, out of himself, but we're going to anyway. I mean, Barney will be missed, but he'll never be forgotten. Terry, say a word.
Well, we're really up here for moral support, and one thing Barney would like, he wouldn't want anybody to be sad. This is supposed to be a happy time for him and everything else. Anyway, about 4 years ago, Barney called me up on the phone, and he was looking for somebody to drive his car. And I told him, well, I'm not sure. I'll ask around and see if somebody wants to drive it that I knew. I didn't know anybody at that time. So I hung up and said bye. About an hour later, he calls back and he says, I wanted you to drive it. And I go, what? And I go, anyway, make a long story short, I said, yeah, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever done for the last 4 years or so to drive his car, because where else can you, have your cake and eat it too? Drive your car, get out of that, and then drive somebody else's car. And he did all the work and helped me on my car, and the rest is history. And if anybody deserves this award, it's Barney, and he'll really be missed.
Nicely said. Gotta get in the picture.
Our next award is for our Lucas Oil Series Track of the Year, and this was highly contested, a lot of votes for multiple facilities. Like I said earlier, we're fortunate that we have a lot of track operators that are energetic, motivated, want to see all of you succeed, want to see NHRA move ahead into the future. And there's no greater example than the new crew, and this year they are the Lucas Oil Series Track of the Year Firebird Race Car.
I think you should sit closer to the stage next year. What do you think?
Yeah, sorry for 3 trips. I got to tell you, you look back in time, and I've been doing a little bit of a piece for our yearbook for next year. We look back some 43, 44 years when we hosted our first, what was then the World Championship Series in 1969. There was a guy by the name of Terrell Pogue, my dad reminded me the other day, that was the division director. Guys like Dave Grassi and Dick Calavoto won Top Fuel, Jim Waldo, who at the time lived in Idaho Falls, one I think was Stock Eliminator. And as we come upon our 45th season of drag racing, I think on behalf of our entire new family and everybody associated with our facility, we're wanting to wish Jonathan Adams all the best in the next chapter in his life. He's done a lot for all of us, not only our Igniter. This year it'll be 42 years, and our Night Fire and our Halloween Classic and all the other events we have on our schedule. But I just want to say thanks to him for everything he's done, and congratulations to all of you as champions. We think of our facility, not unlike the family-run operation that we have, as one big extension in terms of all of you as racers and participants. We love what we do, not unlike all of you in this room. It's a real family sport, and our facility takes a lot of pride in that. But thanks so much for not only this award, but congratulations everybody on your championships and your season. Thanks everybody, see you this year.
Our next class is Stock Eliminator. Boy, do I love stock. It's such a great category. The new drag pack cars, the Mustangs, and hopefully someday the new Camaro, which I'm really looking forward to. Going to make it really great. Third place finish goes to Mick Alley. Second place finish, the very tough Joe Sorensen. And our champ this year came as close to also being a Lucas Oil World Champion as anybody could be. He even scored the accolades of the staff of National Dragster, who gave him the outstanding performance by a sportsman racer for the season. His division score started out with a big one at the first Vegas points race. He would go rounds at Mission and Woodburn, but it was really his second Division 7 race that really locked up the championship when he won Sonoma and would be beaten the final round by his brother Toby. This is his 8th division championship, and no doubt there's more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, and I really mean that, from Puyallup, Jody Lang. And he works for Boeing, my favorite airplane company.
Hey, I just want to thank all the guys at Lucas Oil. You guys, I don't think any of us would be here without Lucas. I mean, nowadays with the economy and stuff, so I really appreciate it. All the guys on the NHRA crew, you guys are awesome. Do a great job. Dennis, him too especially, he's given me a few rides to the airport over the years, so I appreciate it. I want to thank my girlfriend Martha, my brother Toby, and definitely dedicated again to my mom and dad, who we lost a couple years back. So Bob and Todd Sims, Dale Green at DG down there, definitely Dave Barcelona at Trucktown, and Don Sefton. Appreciate you guys. And the guys at Hoosier Tire, especially Paul Nero, all the help he gives me at the track. And yeah, it was definitely a weird ending to the year there. You're trying to win the world championship and you're rooting to lose the division to win the world, but I'm standing here, so 2 points. Thanks to everybody, appreciate it.
Next up is Superstock. Third place, Charlene Gullett. Second place, our Jegs All-Star winner, Mark Fall. And now it's time for the champion. Our next champion made a little drag racing history this season. She not only won the division, but also won the Lucas Oil World Championship. She joined Shirley Muldowney, Amy Falk, and Angel as the only female champs in NHRA history. She won the championship by going rounds at the Vegas National event, passing Peter Biondo for the title. Her division championship started out with a win at Boise, a race where not only did she win, but her husband Mick also won in Stock Eliminator. She added points at Mission and Spokane by going rounds, but a runner-up at Woodburn and a win at Medford secured the division championship. Now D6, when I look at the records, has had a lot of female championships. Marianne Method, of course, Tiffany Highland, Melanie Troxel, so it's not unique to this division, but to win the world title, that's something else. Ladies and gentlemen, the Superstock Lucas Oil World Champion Division Champion from Eagle, Idaho, Jackie Alley. Also about Jackie, she won the Sportsman Driver of the Year too. Nice, huh? And this is kind of selfish. She drives my favorite car of all, the '69 Camaro.
Well, the first person I really need to thank is Jody Lang, because he really saved my butt down in Pomona by taking out David Wagner in the 5th round. So I'm not sure where Jody's sitting, but there you are. Thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. So some of the other people I'd like to thank is, of course, Mike Herring from Valley Crankshaft for building me a great motor. Dennis Blackstone for building me a great car. And BigOTires.com for giving us some money last year. And of course, I need to thank everybody at Firebird Raceway, not only the new crew, but all of our friends that we race with out there for all of their support. And let's see, Lucas Oil, of course, if we didn't, without them, it'd be, tough to keep the series going. And I have about 5 guys that I'd like to thank. I had a race in Woodburn where I had to run a heads-up race with a guy that is considerably faster than I am. I've been running from him for 2 years now, and finally ended up having to race him heads up in Woodburn. And these 5 guys came over and rallied and got my car ready to go, and we ended up winning the round. He still outran me by a little bit, but we were close enough that we could win it on hole shot. So those 5 guys, I don't think any of them are here, but they were Cal Method and Bob Gollett, Troy Olsenowski, Todd Gale, and Jim Boyce. And Mick and I really appreciate them helping on that. I'm having a little trouble reading my note because I need my readers up here actually. So, and of course I need to thank my daughters for coming to the banquet with us. They took time away from their college schedules to do that, so we really appreciate that. And then of course to my husband Mick for, well, I wouldn't be able to do any of this without him. He obviously taught me how to do this racing. He started a couple years before I did, and he taught me how to race, and of course, keeps my cars up and running, and is, in my opinion, the best crew chief out there. And I think that's about it. And other award that I won, thank you everybody who voted for me. I really appreciate it. I was really hoping I would win that award because it's really extra special because it comes from the racers. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
The champion. It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? I like what you gave Jody a shout out for taking out David Wagner too at Pomona. I was watching that on my comp link. I was like, here we go. So it's a big round there for Jody. So helping out the division. Nice job. Next up we go to Comp Eliminator. 3rd place Randy Jones. 2nd place Brandon Hutala. And now our champion. He scored an amazing 403 points towards his title in Comp. Of course, our top outlaw dragster champion did a little bit better. This driver's first championship came in 1986, and in 2006 he not only won in Comp but also won in Stock Eliminator. He has championships in Comp, Super Stock, and Stock, and that's pretty impressive. This season he won 4 in a row to win the Division 6 title. Spokane, Woodburn, and Seattle, he dominated. This is his 8th division championship and his 3rd in Comp Eliminator. And I hope I got this all right because, every now and then something gets typed in the database wrong. Please welcome your 2011 champion from North Bend, Washington, Jeff Lane.
I guess I'd first like to give congratulations to all the stepdads out there that didn't get their just dues. Every one of these guys takes a little bit of luck, it takes a little bit of skill, but it takes a whole lot of hard work and dedication. And I wouldn't be up here tonight if it wasn't for a group of guys over here that they call themselves the Bad Attitude Race Team. And on behalf of myself and my partner Jerry, we'd like to thank my nephew Brian, my dad, DeGrum, my son Cody, Todd Wagner, Pete McHugh, Paul Sanders, Rob Estes, and Ken Lance, whose wife actually pays us to make him go to the races with us, to get him out of the house. Our good friend Tori Lee's with us tonight. Thanks for being here, Tori. All the ladies, my wife Diane, and all the significant others, and all the wives who put up with all of our annex throughout the year, thank you very much. Our sponsors, Redline Oil, Mickey Thompson Tires, Cock Cams, Book Carburetors, they're all just incredible companies. NHRA, Lucas Oil, it's a wonderful series. We have a new sponsor. He doesn't know yet, but thanks Dave Barcelona's Truck Down. You've done a fantastic job as a division director, and I thank you. Thanks everybody.
I think he's done this before, right? One of his old race cars that one of my friends bought, and I know his stuff is always really nice, so guy's a successful drag racer. Next up will be John. Then we'll get into Oddball Funny Car, because I saw Steve Gasparelli yawn before. It's past his bedtime. And then top out with the drag.
All right, I'm going to present our next two special awards. It's the Ernie Hall Memorial Person of the Year and the Janet Lang Memorial Gracious Lady Award. And I've heard a lot of folks this evening speak about their own families. Some people speak of all of us in this room as one big family. And I can think of no greater example this season than Sean Cowie and Taylor Heritage. After what happened to Sean, I'll speak to you personally. I'm sure you all have your own stories about Sean and how he's motivated you, but on a weekend when I'm not at a race, if my phone rings and it's a phone call from Wally before 8 in the morning on a Sunday, I'm assuming something has happened. And you hope, you never really know with these things, but when he said Sean had the accident, it was, I was shocked, because here's somebody he's young, he's athletic, he's racing one of the fastest hot rods in the country. I mean, on his way to maybe winning a national championship, living the life, riding his Harley, having fun with his family. And to hear something like he's in the hospital and we don't know what's going to happen, it was like an getting hit in the face. And to see Sean fight his way, seeing him at the Lucas race in Seattle this year was just unbelievably cool. I know all of you, I saw the decals on your car. Brian Howe, heck, he had the whole car in honor of Sean. And Taylor, I can't imagine how hard it would be to see the person you love not be able to, do what they want to do and to help him fight through that. And so that's why you guys have won these awards this evening. And I know throughout the year, for me personally, what you guys went through was a motivator, and I think a lot of people in this room feel the same way. So congratulations, and we're so happy you're here tonight.
Couldn't have said it any better.
I just want to say thank you. I mean, this is amazing. Obviously, I'm happy he's still here too. But while I'm up here, I just want to thank everybody for their support in the last, 8-9 months. I mean, the emails, the cards, the Facebook posts, the texts, the phone calls. I mean, I speak for the both of us when I say it really, really means a lot, and it puts a smile on your face when you're going through a tough time. So I'm really proud to be a part of such an amazing group of people. I've grown up at the racetrack. A lot of you have known me since I was, But yeah, just thank you, and thank you for being there for us.
always thought, the first time I met Sean, I'm like, this is a tough dude. Like, I would not mess with him. And after what he's been through and what he's done, it's even more, exemplified. And a lot of it reminds me of John Force. John was really hurt, really bad, and worked really hard. And maybe someday, if you want to do it, he'll be a champion like John was when he won the championship last year. So, a little motivation there. So, nice to have them both here, and really has made the night special for everybody. Next up, top outlaw funny car. Our third place finisher, Brian Houck. And the big story there is the fact that Mindy is not a blonde. How to say that? Exactly. Second place, Clint Thompson, guy who likes to travel around the country. Clint's a great guy. And our champion, right off the bat, our top outlaw funny car champion is not Brian, because Brian's been the champ the last couple of years, just have to point that out. This year our champion is a second generation racer, just like our champion and top outlaw dragster. Last year he won the Division 7 championship, so he comes up north and has done pretty well. So far this year, he won at Mission, Spokane, and after slow starts at the first two Division 7 races, held at Vegas and Bakersfield. So he really picked it up after the beginning of the year. He was runner-up in Seattle to add to his total and traveled all the way to Reynolds, Georgia. I'm not sure if he drove the truck there, but that's a long way from West Covina, California. This is his 5th Division championship, his first in Division 6, and the 9th overall for his family. His dad, Lou, would be impressed. No doubt about that. Our champion comes from West Covina, California. The very nice, very personable, really good guy, Steve Gasparelli.
First, thank Joey for not running an alcohol funny car. He seemed to win everything he went to. But I want to thank Jonathan and all the D6 guys coming from Division 7. You guys all treated me like family, all my guys. It was actually one of the best divisional years as far as enjoyment in racing that we've ever had. All the guys said the same thing. Tracks are awesome. You treat the racers good, which is just amazing. I want to thank my crew. My Uncle Mike does the top of the motor and make sure that we're in the right position in the lane all the time. Bones for driving from Canada all the way to Reynolds just to show up and see Brian and Clint there. Bones, there's nothing he can't do in the car. Ricky Montez, who actually spends a lot of time away from his cleaners to come work on the bottom end of the motor. Thanks a lot, Rick. And Greg, Mr. Fix-It Miner, who actually built the car that I drive, and there's nothing he can't do in the car. In fact, I got a bunch of stuff for him to do next weekend. A lot of my family and friends are here tonight. My mom, Vicki, my wonderful wife, Nene, my daughter, Jillian, my son, Tobin, my goobah, Gary, my Aunt Laura. Greg's actually Greg's girlfriend, if you can believe that. Right? I thought Greg, that's all he did was race, but he has a very nice girlfriend I met tonight. And Jonna, who supports Bones. Bones was gone from August all the way till, I don't even remember, November or something. Bones said, just get me home for Thanksgiving, that's all I have to do. Last but definitely not least, I want to thank and actually dedicate this award to my father who passed away this year.
He left his notes, by the way, and he's got pretty good handwriting for a drag racer. He did it on the DoubleTree stationery, so he did it probably today. And I'm going to give this back to him because it says last thing on the bottom, it says Dad. So that's pretty cool. So, I'll be back up. So, who won the Top Outlaw Dragster Championship this year? Let me think. Anybody we know? Third place went to James Butler. Second place went to Ray Martin. And our next champion really made it fun for fans of the Top Outlaw Dragster category. Of course, at Vegas and Pomona to end the season, he and Dwayne Shields battled it out for the championship. Unfortunately for fans of the Bologna race cars, he came up a little bit short, but he really made it fun. And he actually went as far as going to Maple Grove Raceway, which is one of my home tracks, and I was like, wow, Joey, you're really away from home. Of course, his wife kept me up on Facebook, he's traveling, and she doesn't like to fly, I found out, so she did not go east for some of those races. She did go to Dallas. But this year, the guy had a perfect score. He went to the divisional races, won 5 of them. The other 2 races, he was runner-up. And, you know, just like I said before with Steve Gasparelli, he's a second-generation drag racer. His dad won Pro Comp back in the 1970s. And if you don't know what Pro Comp is, it's when the alcohol funny cars and dragsters all raced each other. He's won championships before. He runs a drag strip with his family. He wanted to wear his hat, but his wife said he couldn't. Your 2011 champion, someone I call a friend, Joey Severance. A couple other things about Joey. He also won the Top Outlaw Dragster Driver of the Year, and his dad Joe won the Jerry Verhall Memorial Crew Chief of the Year. And I know his dad's in Indy, so you can call him and tell him that.
Well, since I don't like doing this part, and I got a pee, I'm gonna make this quick. I definitely gotta thank my wife for all the support, understandings most of the time. My crew, Jay Lidstrom's helped out so much. He's like 3 guys working for the car, luckily. The reason he drove all the way up here from Prineville is because we usually don't feed him at the races. This is his chance to eat this year. Jeremy Weaver's been helping, and his wife let him come racing with us. My mom's definitely been a big part of the race car. My dad, he's in Indiana right now. He's been working on, I think, Bandagriff's car today. He worked on Morgan Lucas's car yesterday, and then he was over at Alanavi's deal the other day building top fuel cars. So maybe he can come home and build us a new one, hopefully. It was a real lucky year for us. I'll take it. I'm not giving the trophies back. I also had a lot of fun. It's amazing the people that step up to help. Cowie's actually helped us out to get to the last few races of the year. People in our own competition actually helping out, made it really neat. I really look forward to racing again next year. Thanks NHRA for trying to help the alcohol cars out. I mean, it's something. It's cool. I mean, we got to do something. So, again, got me.
Hey, Sherry, you gotta work on his speeches, man. I mean, really. Gotta pee his last line. That was pretty good. It was fun. Well, folks, I appreciate you coming out. Hope you had a good time. Have a great racing season, because we're pretty much done. And, you know, it's hard to see my friend Jonathan go and do something different, but I hope he finds something he loves to do. And his wife Jen says he'll be back in drag racing in 6 months. You can guarantee it on some level. But he's been a good friend. I will miss him on tour, but as I said, follow him on Twitter, because he is a busy boy, especially when there's college football, the Ducks. I mean, every 10 seconds. There you go. So it's been fun. Have a great season. If you go to Pomona, come by and say hi.
2 reasons it's nice to have Lewis here. 1, because he's one of my closest friends, and also it means less of me on the mic. Really word on the Hall of Fame, we had big plans to put Joe Severance Sr. in the Hall of Fame, but the guy's a workaholic, and I think maybe we should shoot for the Seattle National event, do something there for him, but wish he could have been here, because you know, a lot of history with him and helping his son, and but you know, got to make money, and he probably wouldn't want to be up here giving some kind of acceptance speech anyway. So yeah, they need race car parts. I'll leave you with this. Have a wonderful year. Thank you for 6.5 awesome years of my life. You guys are all friends. I'm sure I won't just vanish off the face of the earth. I'll be around. Appreciate all the love this evening. I'm blown away by that. I really mean it. And also, I don't know who they're going to hire to replace me, but let them know we just set a record, 8:55. He's going to have to try to beat that next year. I look at it this way. You guys can go drink for 2 hours and be out by 11 o'clock. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you all.